Hi, this is George Alger. Welcome to today's segment of Our Ventura TV. Today we're going to be speaking about breaking the stigma and building community regarding mental health. And joining us is Melissa Hanna, who is the Executive Director of United Parents. Welcome, Melissa. And can you give us a brief description of United Parents before we get into the topic?
Hi, George. Thank you for having me. So I wanted to talk real quickly about United Parents and the services that we provide. So we have been around for over 30 years, and we were started predominantly or mainly because of our parent partner program. So we have a parent partner program, and what that program is we are funded by the Ventura County Behavioral Health. And what we do is we have parents with lived experience, or otherwise known as peers, who have experience raising a child with a mental health need. So the county, which is VCBH, I'm going to use the acronym, Ventura County Behavioral Health, VCBH, they receive calls for maybe a child who might have a mental health need. And once the child is in their care and becomes a client, we then get a call to help walk that path with the parent. So our parents with the lived experience will walk the path with those parents who are just now receiving the diagnosis of their child having a mental health need. And our parents will then help the parent understand the needs of their child, connect them to much needed resources, including educational advocacy. There's also respite services that we provide, which we provide 10 hours of care for the parents to be able to leave the home for, 10 hours a month, and we'll watch their children. So usually it's not really it's not a childcare type of situation. It's more of a mentorship. And we also will take the children out of the home for 4 hours a month or every other month on our fun events, where we'll go to like Build-A-Bear, we'll go to golf and stuff, or we'll go to any fun little adventure within our county, and we'll take the kids out to eat, and we bring them back home full of fun and full bellies so their parents can have a relaxing day. And we have educational advocacy program, and we also have a couple of other programs based on grants received, but those tend to be short-lived, so we won't go into that.
All right, well, let's talk about breaking the stigma and building community around mental health.
So being in the mental health field, we know that, and what we've experienced in our travels throughout the state and throughout our county is, especially with certain populations, understanding that you have a mental health condition is hard to swallow, really. So we have been on this crusade to break the stigma associated with receiving a diagnosis that you have some form of mental health issue. And especially for parents, when their children are diagnosed with maybe ADHD, they have suicidal ideation, PTSD, any type of trauma that may be associated with their childhood, it's really hard for a parent to understand. It's hard for a parent to accept. And so we want to make it acceptable. We want to make it acceptable to receive help for a diagnosis of mental health issues or a mental illness, excuse me.
How do you make it more acceptable?
By being more present and offering more services where we bring the families together, connecting families who all are struggling with the same challenges within their home. So for instance, we have started support groups. We had support groups prior to COVID-19, but then we went virtual, of course, like we all know, and we just didn't get the same type of feedback or the same participation. So post-COVID, is it really post-COVID? Yeah, I guess it's post-COVID. Post-COVID, we started hosting our support groups in person. And by hosting them in person, we then went into areas with the most need in our county, particularly South Oxnard area. And so we've collaborated with Turning Point Wellness Center, which is located at the Center Point Mall, to use their facility to provide a venue or a place that families can come that are struggling with the same challenges. For instance, if their child might have just received information, or their family had received information that their child is diagnosed with ADHD, they're not sure what to do. This is open to the public. They can come to one of our English or Spanish speaking support groups, come break bread with fellow community members. We serve hot meals, we provide childcare, and have a conversation with other parents who are struggling with the same type of issues. Receive resources from other parents who know what has worked, what's working, what hasn't worked for them, and build community. Have these extensions of supports, not just relying on our community-based organizations or our county behavioral health, but relying on each other to help our families and help our children, and co-empowering each other to be our children's best advocates.
Okay. Now, Melissa, if someone was interested in, joining one of these conversations, discussions, groups, would they just show up? Should they make an appointment? Can they come and just listen? Does it cost anything? What's the path here?
So they can visit our website at www.unitedparents.org, and we have a calendar of events, and all of our support groups are listed in the calendar of events. So we have our and they're ongoing. So we have the third Wednesday of every month, and this is indefinitely. And we also have the third and fourth Thursday of the month for our father support group. So any of those dads who feel like they're not receiving the support that they need, or would just like to have another male role model, or another male or another father involved in helping them understand their child's diagnosis. We have those in English and Spanish, those support groups as well. And what they can do is go on our website, look at the date, and just show up. They can also call and RSVP just so we have enough food. And then once they come to their first meeting, they'll sign our contact list or an attendance list, and then we have their contact information, and then we can reach out to them each time we have a meeting and let them know, hey, don't forget, we have another meeting. And once the parents start showing up more and more, they've built this community, they talk more, that stigma is reduced, and it becomes more common knowledge for parents to discuss the issues that they're experiencing within their home.
I got it. And what's the cost?
Zero. Sorry about that. Yes, no cost. No cost. This is something that we provide because we've listened to our community members, and we understand that this is something that they wanted, they needed, and so we provided it. For us, we receive funding from the county to provide the support groups, but we do not have the funding to provide the meals or the childcare. So we always are open to donations. Let me throw that plug in there. If anyone would like to donate to help our support groups, it would be greatly appreciated. And it's always in a warm meal. Our staff will, from Turning Point Wellness Center, and our staff will make a nice, warm, home-cooked meal for the families and their children.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Melissa. We're going to wrap things up now.
Thank you, George.
You're welcome. This is George Alger signing off for this segment of Our Ventura TV. Until we meet again.